Husker Storm video blog. Arizona at OTI State. This will be a blowout. Pac-12 defense versus one of the best offenses in the country. Well, that equals a lot of points. 52-24, OTI State. Mizzou at ASU. The underrated Sun Devils play host to the Mizzou Tigers. The place will be rocking on a Friday night in prime time with ASU's new all-black uniforms. Mizzou's struggles last week against Miami, Ohio will only continue against an elite ASU defense. 2010 ASU shuts down the Tigers and pulls the upset. Oregon State at Wisconsin. After a complete embarrassment, in a loss to Sacramento State, Oregon State goes to Camp Randall and gets, well, crushed. 63-24. Utah at USC. Minnesota pushed USC in the first week, shutting them out in the second half. This may be USC's chance to show last week was a fluke. Lane Kiffin gets the Trojans prepared and pumped. As Utah prepares for their first Pac-12 game, this may be a blowout. 40-27. Notre Dame at Michigan. A loss last week against USF was the game they should have won. Now they have to go to the Big House, as they play in the first night game ever. Much like last year, both offenses will be running wild. But the Fighting Irish will fall again. 41-35. Alabama at Penn State. After getting embarrassed by the Crimson Tide last year, Alabama rolls into Happy Valley. Last year at this time, freshman Robert Bolden led the charge, but this year there is a decision to be made at QB. The game will be a little tighter than last year, but I don't anticipate an upset. Crimson Tide roll, 24-9. South Carolina at Georgia. This game will probably decide who represents the East in the SEC Championship. Stephen Garcia will start this game and give South Carolina the boost they need on offense. Marcus Lattimore will be the player of the game, the key to South Carolina's offense. Aaron Murray will have a much better day this week than last week against Boise. Will Georgia lose 2 in a row to start off the year? Yes, this will be the end of Mark Richt, as the Gamecocks win 35-30. Mississippi State at Auburn. Auburn's first loss in 15 games. 34-23. Va Tech at ECU. ECU held its own against South Carolina and looked like they were poised for the upset. They have another chance. Is the second time the charm? No, it's gonna be a good game. ECU will put up a fight, just not enough points. 42-27. TCU at Air Force. 25 straight regular season wins came to an end last week. But will they create a losing streak? Possibly. With Air Force 14 returning starters in their QB, they may be primed for the upset. But TCU will squeak through it. 24-23. BYU at Texas. Gonna be a great game. 22-17. Texas. Fresno State at Nebraska. A much physical and stronger opponent for Nebraska this week. They must come out in this one with more fire and intensity on offense and defense. I feel that's what they lacked last week. With Will Compton and Alfonso Denard out, we get to see more looks at Roach and in Green. The defense will a closer glimpse at a team that is very similar to many Big Ten's running and passing games. They are very physical, run a pro style, mostly downhill running game. This will be a test for the defense and what they can do against a Big Ten-like running game. Fresno State is new to the big stage or playing in large venues. Last week they went into Cal Berkeley, but lost 36-21. Cal shut down the Fresno State running, only giving up 68 yards. After a subpar performance, expect Fresno State to have a good game plan. But I think Carl will be prepared and will shut down Fresno State. The offense will come out with a much great game plan than last week, more variety in plays, but still hiding the majority of their playbook. 34-10 much better execution from the offense. Thanks. Subscribe.